Hello, today is August 5th, 2019. I am here with the 5 things that I'm grateful for today. First, I'm going to start with number 1. I am extremely grateful for my past, for the people that I've learned from my town, from my school, from past jobs that I've had. To my family, to just everything that has led me to this moment right here, right now. I'm thankful for every interaction with every person. But one thing that was very challenging for me as I began to awaken, I grew up in a very small town, so my class, just my class consisted of probably 50 people. I came from a school where you know everybody, from 6th grade to 12th grade, and you're all in the same building, and it's very intimate. It's very intimate because it's a small town. And so when you're spiritually awakening, what was hard for me is letting go of the past, letting go of those voices from the past, of times when kids made fun of you. And what happens is when you grow up in a small town, for me, because I wasn't getting the love and the affection and the care that I needed at home, I was searching for that at school. So I was one of those children that didn't go to school to learn, but to be loved. And those children have a really hard time, and they struggle to succeed because they don't have the mental capacity to to stay focused. They have too much going on in their minds because of things that are happening in their household. And so this can be very distracting in the classroom. And I remember being very obnoxious. But those memories that we have with our classmates, what I was saying is we create very intimate connections with these people. We care deeply what they think about us, even though it can be easy to be I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks, but you really do care because you form connection with these people and they mean something to you. You actually care about them. And so you begin to care about their opinions of you. And another thing that happens in small towns is there's a lot of gossip. There's a lot of everybody knows your business, and things get misconstrued and people have their opinions of you and they base you off these opinions that maybe don't have anything to do with you. And anyway, it can be very when you're awakening, it can be hard to let go of those voices. It can be hard to let go of those connections that you've created. And when you speak your truth, when you come out of the spiritual closet, it can be challenging. What are these people going to think of me? What is this person going to say? What is that person going to say? And it's constantly keeping you stuck in that, not expressing yourself because of fear of judgment. But I'm just so grateful because it's taught me how to grow. It's taught me how to let go. It's taught me how to really stand in my power and to not a lot of my identity was created from the voices of my classmates. Not just my parents growing up, but also the people I was around the most, which was my classmates. And so it can be challenging to get past those voices in your head that come up every time, but you have to recognize that they're from the past and that they're not happening now. And so that's one thing that I'm just grateful for because I've learned a lot about myself just by awakening and recognizing the voices that I let hold me back from people that I grew up with that maybe hurt my feelings in 2nd grade or something. It's letting go of those little things that we don't realize that we let's say in 2nd grade I was hurt, my feelings were hurt, but I didn't allow myself to cry because I didn't want to get made fun of even more. And so I repressed that feeling in 2nd grade, but it's coming up now when I'm 27 years old, so it's they get stored inside of you, and it's then they'll come up. And they can be stored deeply in your subconscious. And so one reason that I'm thankful for my past, not just this lifetime, but past lifetimes, because I'm able to learn and educate myself through the understanding of my emotions. It's emotional intelligence, which isn't brought into our education system at all. And so I'm able to learn through my emotions, which brings me to my second thing that I'm grateful for. Anger. I'm so grateful for my anger. I've woken up, I've been dealing with anger for a really long time, and anger has really been passed down through my bloodline through the emotional standpoint, and where I learned how to behave in a way that was anger, but I self-destructed within myself, whereas you see some people tend to destruct outwardly. When you're an empath or you're highly sensitive, you tend to destruct internally. Which you destruct your body, you destroy your body. So anger is something that I am actually very grateful for. I've never really known how to handle it or how to deal with it, or I thought that I was doing something wrong, or I thought it wasn't acceptable, I shouldn't be feeling anger because I should be happy all the time, or especially as you awaken spiritually, there's there's a huge misconception that you're supposed to be light and positive all the time, but really awakening is first feeling all those really heavy and dark emotions, and then recognizing how you feel after you release those emotions, how you let go of and carry, like how you're carrying emotional burdens and you're carrying emotions for other people that aren't yours. And I've carried anger that isn't mine for a very, very long time. And to release it makes me I feel anger in my chest greatly. And that's where we store it. So I feel it deeply in my chest, which brings me to the third thing that I'm grateful for, and that is running, because running helps me to release my anger. It really helps me, like, I can feel it in my heart space, you know? So, and that's where I was saying that I feel the anger the most is right in my heart space, in my chest. And when I run, it helps me use up this energy. It helps me focus on my breath to be able to release this energy. That it's like steamy energy. That's how I'm kind of seeing it. And then I use my breath, and my body is just being worked, and it really helps me release that energy from my body, from my emotional body, because that's one thing that we also are not taught, is how to take care of our emotional bodies. And so the fourth thing that I am grateful for today is my gift to be able to, I have lots of spiritual gifts that I didn't ever realize until I began to awaken, which is another thing that I'm grateful for, is like as I began to awaken to my purpose. So I'm grateful for, what did I just say? Oh, like my mediumship. So I'm able to be, it's really weird because I feel like I'm already passed over. I came here to help other people like come to the light, and I don't like to walk them home, if that makes sense. To walk them home. And I don't have to walk people home to like through their deathbed, though I can help other people like pass over if they are very sick. But it's more about walking people home consciously and like being awake, being alive, and like coming home and creating heaven on earth. And so that's one thing that I'm grateful for, is my ability to be in both worlds. I'm able to be here. I always thought this always kind of scared me. It always made me feel like I was really, really fucking weird. And one thing that makes me feel really uncomfortable that I want to share is that I'm able to communicate with spirits that are past. And a lot of spirits have come to me from people that I went to school with, parents of people I went to school with, siblings of people I went to school with. And it's funny because my energy is just very open. I'm a very open channel, and the more I heal that anger, the more I heal that those repressed emotions, the more the like gate opens even wider, and like these souls can just come to me. Like it's like I'm here and I'm there with them, and so it's cool because they can be here with me too. And one thing that I'm able to do is I'm able to just communicate with them. Like I can just sense their energy. It's more about feeling their energy, and then I see like a picture in their head, or in my head, like in my third eye, in my spiritual eye. I'm able to see a picture of them, or like I feel the emotions that they once made me feel. Or I'll just hear their name. Or like, yeah, and so that's one thing that I'm really grateful for, is my spiritual gift to be able to channel and to be like a medium, to be here and to be there at the same time. And I always thought this made me weird, and maybe it does, it might weird people out, it might challenge people's beliefs, but it's just my truth, and it's something that like I am grateful for. I don't want to shame it anymore, and because I have a huge thing, which brings me to the fifth thing that I'm grateful for today, which is my purpose, because it keeps me going. I was talking about rage, I was talking about the education system, and one thing that gets me most riled up is the education system, and how there's so many children that are like slipping through the cracks, that they are highly sensitive, and they're not being given tools, they're not being given resources to help them understand their emotions, and so they're going out into the world and they're just feeling completely like they don't know, they're feeling very confused. So many people are anxious. They don't know how to handle their emotions that are being brought up. And this makes me feel really angry, and I want to blame the education system, or I want to blame the past. Like it'd be so easy for me to blame my teachers, to blame my past, to blame my classmates, to blame my parents. I could blame them all day long. But what we use that anger for is catalyst for its motivation to be the change, to use that rage as a catalyst for following your purpose. The fifth thing that I'm grateful for, like I said, is my purpose. My purpose is to spread more love, and to, like I said, to walk people home, to create unity and wholeness within our bodies, to create heaven on earth. That's really my mission. And we do that by embodying love, by embodying peace, by embodying compassion. A lot of us aren't taught how to do these things. We're taught to forego those things, to ignore emotions, to sweep them under the rug. And that's why there's a lot of things that are happening in our country, like our mass shootings. We had 249 mass shootings in 2019 so far, and there's only, 215 days that we've been through. Like, this is ridiculous, and we have to use these things as motivation. Like, we can just continue to ignore it, or we can use our anger and our rage, because I get pissed. I get so mad when I think about the children that are being hurt, when I think about the children that are starving across the world, and we have copious amounts of food. Actually, most of our citizens are dying from overconsumption of foods, while in other countries children are dying because they don't have enough food. We don't have clean water. We are watering our grass all the time. Using water for our washer and dryer, using water for our dishes, using water for our showers, so using water for our bath, using water for our pools. Like, we're using so much water, we're using so much of this stuff, and we're like completely oblivious to the things, or like, and maybe we're not even oblivious, maybe we're just distracting ourselves because we don't want to deal with the emotions of despair, with the emotions of guilt, with the emotions of shame that are coming with these things that we're sitting here in luxury, that we're taking for granted every single day. And that's my whole point, and that's the whole point of starting this. It's like, we need to be grateful for those things. I'm not saying that we can change those, or we can change, but we have to use those emotions of despair, those emotions of anger, that when we feel powerless to the children that are starving, when we feel powerless to the people that are sleeping on the street, to the homeless population, I just will break out crying, and I feel this grief. When we feel that grief of those people that are suffering in the world, when we use that as a catalyst for change, to be grateful for what we have, then like, we can shift our entire reality. And we begin to do things that aren't just self-gratifying, but things that are going to make a huge impact for the long term of this planet, of this earth. And the choices that we choose to make, we can either choose to self-destruct every time we feel anger and to go for that bottle of alcohol, or to eat that whole pizza, or whatever it is. And I'm not saying to shame yourself for doing these things. It's about using them to recognize, okay, why am I numbing this? Why do I not want to feel this? Because when we begin to feel it, we open up that space within us to be like, okay, that's my purpose. If I'm feeling super emotional, if this is evoking emotion in me, that children are dying across the world because they're starving, or because there's homeless people sleeping on the street, and if this gets you riled up, if this gets you angry, like, I'm just feeling it now, like I'm getting goosebumps, like, that is your purpose. So finding those things that evoke those deep emotions in you are actually the path to your greatest endeavors, and how you can actually change the world. So anyway, I hope this is helpful for you. I hope you found 5 things that you're grateful for today, and I'm sending you so much love.